Howdy, howdy. We are live on a Sunday night, a bit unusual for us, but yes, we have a big event to discuss. We have the breaking final trailer for the final season of Star Trek Picard. So I have some lovely people to discuss it with me tonight. I have Starfleet Boy and Rachel and Aaron, aka Geek Filter. So how's everyone doing tonight?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah, doing well.
Well, I hope everyone enjoyed this final trailer that we got a glimpse of. I felt like it was like a bunch of stuff we'd already seen before.
Yeah.
So they didn't put like a bunch of new stuff in here, which actually excites me because I hate when they give too much away in the trailers and everything. But
Same. I feel like we got to see like a couple more character moments, and I was like, cool. I like that. Like, yeah, I'm most interested in seeing the TNG people come back.
I mean, that is the big draw, right? We're gonna have
Yeah.
some screenshots, and we can go over the dialogue that was in the episode. But I'm curious, the
Did
people
you
in the
see
audience.
the extended trailer, Father, though, on YouTube?
The extended trailer. I saw the one that Paramount Plus put on Paramount Plus, and that they put on their YouTube channel.
It's like 2 minutes and 46 seconds.
Oh, did they play a shorter trailer like on the football game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a shorter trailer.
They did a trailer for the trailer, and then when you got to see the trailer, they said go online. It's like that they built up a hype that the
But it's
trailer did
awesome.
not support. I don't think.
Yeah, I
I follow. I go
do
along
that
with it. I love it.
a weird amount of time with like specifically Super Bowl ads. And I assume it's just because like I think those ads are so expensive. Although Paramount owns it's like football is playing on CBS, right? Like I don't think Paramount
Right.
has to play the
Yeah.
exorbitant fees to, like
Yeah.
advertise during an NFL game.
Yeah, it cost Paramount Global, the big parent corporation formerly known as Viacom. It cost them exactly $0
Yeah.
to broadcast this trailer. So.
Yeah, there's a reason why the only shows you see advertised during the Super Bowl are CBS shows.
This wasn't the Super Bowl though, was
Makes
it?
sense.
No.
This is the
Okay.
AFC conference final, and
But
the
I
Super
think
Bowl's on NBC this year. They
like
won the
February
It
something.
changes from year to year to
Yeah.
year.
17th or yeah.
Those
I
are
was just
like
like,
the ads that
even-
cost like $1 million.
Yeah, Super
for,
Bowls are,
30
like,
seconds or something.
Insanely expensive, but still NFL ads are still very expensive.
Yes, because they have high viewership, which is the whole
Yeah,
reason why they dropped it. There were people who were unaware that the TNG cast were showing up this year, and
Yeah.
and now they are aware because of.
I honestly, I do get it. They're like, hey, people who are not these nerds that
Yeah.
have been like keeping up
Yeah.
with this would be like, hey, look, all these people that you remember from the 80s, they're gonna be in this last season.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of people that are, very, very enthusiastic members of the fandom forget is that the vast majority of the people who watch these shows, the people who we need to watch these shows for
Yeah.
them to succeed, are not people. They're people that have never ever gone on the internet to talk about Star Trek. They've never ever. They're not people
Right.
like in this audience, watching this trailer reaction and breakdown.
I mean,
They're,
my-
the
my dad
normie
watched
audience
Star-
is the majority of your viewers.
Yeah, my dad watched Star Trek in the 80s. He wouldn't know what was happening if he didn't have me as a daughter. Like, trailers aren't actually for us. Like maybe the trailer that appears at the first one that appears at Comic-Con, that is like, hey, Moriarty, because the average viewer is not necessarily going to recognize Daniel Davis like me
Right.
from like one shot. But
I was the only one going apeshit over this trailer. I loved it. It's
I
like
thought
so
it
good.
was a good
Oh, okay.
trailer. Like
It
I
was
do
good,
genuinely
but
think
not
it was
the
a
hype
well-made trailer.
Level, no.
Yeah.
I don't
If
know.
it just
I thought
showed
it
up,
has-
if suddenly it was just on, or like, oh, there's going to
Look,
be a
there's
trailer on during the
Wilson's
football.
Whistle.
Yeah,
that's
like,
cool.
That's like so cool. Like right
all
there.
the enthusiasm all the enthusiasm I have for this show all originated outside of this trailer. Like this
Yeah.
didn't do anything to like hype me up, but I'm
Yeah.
I'm already very curious
Wow,
about this
okay.
season.
The only thing it did was
So-
worry me that we're going to have another galactic, ending event that they have to fight or something. It's like,
Yeah.
It's gonna
Please
be a
no.
Federation
actually,
threat for sure.
What it
I
worried
think.
me is the way they were wording something. I was like, oh, someone from the TNG cast is not making it all the way through here.
Yeah.
Terry Matalas keeps teasing that. I think it's very likely that. In fact, at this point, I'd be surprised if they all make it. I think at least one of them is not going to be alive in 10 episodes.
The officer who's using the bosun's whistle, I guess it would still be called that.
Mm-hmm.
What species is she or they?
I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
we should run through the whole thing and just cover all the dialogue, and then we can go back and talk about it in more detail. But I'm curious, Starfleet Boy, since you're the one who's the most excited from this trailer, what was like the highlight of it that it really got you keen to see Picard season 3 that you weren't already excited about?
The music, the spaceship stuff, the effects, I think the whole thing was just I was just going nuts. Like, you were saying there was hardly anything new, but there was a shit ton of new stuff in my opinion.
Well, what was the new stuff?
Like just shots, really seeing new things, like when Todd Stashwick, for example, also the reveal of, I mean, we knew about it because we've been following these articles and stuff, but
this is the first official confirmation.
Yeah, it was exciting to see Todd Stashwick on screen finally as the
crotchety captain.
yeah, he's pretty cool. No, there's just a lot.
You've really enjoyed his work lately. Now that you've watched the other Terry Matalas show, 12 Monkeys.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was like a nice highlight. It was fun. I'm curious about how he's gonna play this character. He looks interesting. There's I think the hype is. I think I'm just really deep into it, in a way that maybe. I'm just excited about a lot.
To be fair, you were excited about this trailer a week ago when they announced it. So
yeah, it's true.
And they could have just had
there's a lot of I'm actually I have it pulled up and I have it kind of on nonstop. And if you want me to really go scene by scene and tell you all the new bits, because I kind of memorized all the trailers. I watched them 30, 40 times. Each, maybe more. I'm obsessive about it. So. But yeah, it also feels like it doesn't feel like the if you want to know expectation versus what I got, it doesn't feel like the Star Trek 6 kind of send off with the narrator, the Enterprise flying by with scenes of all their exploits, going
the Star Trek
by,
6 trailer, that first teaser that they if people recall, back in 1991 there was a trailer of it was actually they used the shot of the Enterprise at the end of the motion picture, but they put footage of the first 5 movies, and from the original series there's footage from the original series projected onto the hull of the Enterprise, and then it says, this is going to be the final adventure. But so that was the first trailer for the last TOS story.
But what's cool about a show is that you could cut one of those in the middle and play it midway through the show, to hype you up for the second part or whatever, whatever the case is. But as far as me personally, I know very little about. I don't have screeners. I haven't got access to it. I am gonna get to see it a little early, so I'm watching.
You're going to the premiere. At the Chinese theater.
I'm gonna go see it at the premiere. So
to
me, it's exciting because there's a lot of mysteries that are being dropped in the trailer that'll feed my obsession until the show the show drops, stuff for me to think about. Ed Spielers, who I love, is also in this trailer, and he looks great.
I know,
that's the dude from Downton Abbey, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with both these actors, but
yeah.
He's adorable.
And there's a lot of speculation as who he could be, and now I'm starting to wonder if the major kind of thing isn't correct.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that I was he just has a vibe about him. Specifically, in the just compared to him on Downton Abbey and those shots, it's his character on Downton Abbey is kind of more, I guess, lovable. I don't know, that might not be the right word for his character, but it's not as intense.
And I did know, when he said, what was it? It's everybody changes or whatever, the way he said it, it felt very like kid talking to this dad. It had a
Yeah.
parental
Yeah,
sort of feel
it
to
did.
it.
Okay, yeah. So our theory is that he might be Picard's son, which I really hope is
Yeah.
incorrect because like
I
Me
don't
too.
know. I might dig it with Ed Spieler being
Yeah.
the son. See, like
there's
things-
there's literally no
If you
actor
find him
alive.
hot, it's okay. If you don't,
No, it's not even that. He's actually, I think he's actually
I
a really
like
great
him a
actor
lot.
as well.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
agree.
I mean, he happens to be a very like handsome 20-something-year-old. I guess I'm guessing like maybe 30 actually. He might be closer to 30.
I would
if you
I think I
Yes.
looked his age up to see if it could actually work as like
yeah.
I would
cards.
guess
Like
he-
obviously you can play something else.
I don't actually think he's like I don't think he looks this age. I would guess he's mid-30s just because I think he was in his 20s in Downton Abbey, and he was
Oh,
in Downton
right,
Abbey a
right.
while
That's
ago.
It was yeah, it's true.
Well,
But
but
he was born
yeah,
in
he's probably
1988.
older.
But also,
Oh, so he's in
the
his
trailer,
30s then.
Crusher saying "trust
Yeah.
no one" gets me like all spooked out. Like, and then
Oh.
Riker with the whole he sounds
That
creepy
actually
with the
annoys me.
whole-
The trust no one thing kind of because I was like, I'm tired of sinister Starfleet. Like I want a
No,
Starfleet
Yeah.
I
it's
can
good, it's
trust.
good.
But
It just
I don't know. I've been like weirdly maybe because I've been watching random episodes of Deep Space Nine for like so I don't I don't think this will be actually what happens. But he said that, and I was like, what if like one of them's a changeling or something?
could be.
Oh my
They did say
gosh.
that there's something Dominion related in the show, but
Okay, like
Oh.
that would be kind of cool. Like just because like it's something the TNG cast never dealt with. Like
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah, it's
the
true.
Enterprise is
Also,
weirdly
to
absent from
bring-
the Dominion War.
to bring them back in a sense of like the threat was like somehow underground. Like they were always a threat, but we didn't know about it. Like, what if the infiltration is
Mm.
like epic, like massive? It's not just like that would be
Maybe
insane.
they maybe they finally have those exploding worm guys come back and
the conspiracy
that-
bugs.
yeah.
Hi to Trek cultures in our live audience. Check this out. I understand they have
Hey!
they have some coverage on this trailer on their channel as well, so people should check them out too.
Yeah, they apparently are super fast at editing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that comes in
amazing.
handy,
You
I'm
guys
sure.
must have access to a time machine.
Well, let's just run through this real quick. Sohel, please try to like restrain your reactions
Contain
until we
my
get.
excitement.
Yeah, let's just go through like the whole thing, all the dialogue, all of the footage. Unfortunately, like the algorithms won't let us play a copy of it, or it'll think that we're like pirating the show to other audiences, and we'll get shut down. But we can go through the
Oh
the
yeah.
screenshots I took, and I can read the dialogue I transcribed. Then we'll come back and break it all down. But starting off, we have the arrival of Picard and Riker on the Titan for inspection. So very Wrath of Khan right off the bat. Seven saying Admiral on the bridge, and then Picard reminding her, and also Captain on the bridge with Riker.
Yeah.
We meet our Titan captain, played by what's his name, Todd Staswick, right?
I think it's pronounced Stashwick, but I may
Stashwick?
maybe it is
Okay.
Yeah, Stashwick, I think.
I want
was
to point out he has
explaining-
a space fork.
Oh yeah, he does.
And he's explaining it's going to be probably a boring inspection for the likes of Picard and Riker. They won't be blowing things up, taking or engaging in fire, crash landing, or expectedly or unexpectedly. And we cut to a lot of footage of all those things. It looks like a lot of action. Picard and Riker getting into the action. Then we have some ship action stuff. We see a big fleet, the Enterprise F, along with some other familiar-looking Starfleet ships assembling. We hear some voice calling for battle stations. There's dialogue from Worf saying that something is coming, some kind of an attack, and Starfleet could be the target. We hear Troy's voice saying there's a darkness, an all-consuming darkness. Picard says it's getting stronger, and then there's the distress call that we get from Beverly that we know about, that was in that clip they showed on the Ready Room. We can assume, but she's saying, "Jean-Luc, trust no one." And then we get the reveal of Vadic on her ship, the Shrike, I think is what we're told it's called, and she's saying, "Jean-Luc Picard, we will have vengeance." Riker saying some ominous things about, "You and I have traveled to the far reaches of space, but something's different now. This is the end, my friend." We see Vadic's bird-looking guy. They kind of look like Aurelian or something. Maybe they're the score. I don't know.
Oh no.
She has bird people invading ships. We see
I think
Raffi.
they're just
We see-
masks.
A lot of people looking distressed. It's billed as the final voyage, according to the text that they add. A look at Earth space dock, I think. Geordi and Picard excitedly saying Geordi when he sees Geordi. I'm sure he's like someone watching the trailer. The audience is like Geordi. It's like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme where he's pointing at the screen. There's some action crusher stuff. I
have a theory about why they have that clip. I think they think people who aren't super familiar won't recognize him without the visor.
Oh, yeah, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the TNG movies, then yeah, he does look a little weird. If you've only, like watched TNG on streaming and never bothered with the movies. There's Moriarty saying such pathetic old warriors. Worf and Raffi, I guess, fighting each other. Maybe they're sparring or something. He's saying, I was too once irrational and violent. And somebody's voice is the guy who I guess we think might be Picard's son. He's saying, is anybody you know still the person you knew?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that in a moment. Picard saying this is life or death, and Geordi saying it's always life or death, Jean-Luc. When has it not been? People on the
You've
Titan.
watched our show.
Yeah.
Why do they have O faces?
I think I think that's like distress faces. I think they're in danger or under attack or something.
Yeah, Boat Trek's comment in the chat. Turn up the lights. Yeah, there's something. It's like everything is so dark. Not like tonally, but I mean like literally dark. It's hard to see.
In the comments, Galen has could there be two Rikers? Thomas from DS9.
Oh,
We never figured out if they just did he die? Would they like Cardassia?
Oh my gosh!
we
I
don't
love
know
this
his fate
stuff
post
here.
Dominion War. Maybe that's the Dominion War connection that they've
Sayla's
teased.
kid. That would be interesting.
Oh.
I'm sorry, it's him calling him Taron Egerton Light because he's not wrong.
Well, what I'm not really certain about, and I don't have very good, I don't know what you call it, language processing. Like I have to watch everything with subtitles. If I go see a movie in the
audio
theater,
processing.
yeah, I know I'm gonna miss some lines of dialogue if I go to the theater. So I'm not sure exactly what Lore is saying in the trailer. Maybe one of y'all caught it, but he says survival. It's human nature. Does he say like?
I'd have to go back and listen to.
My speculation is that something having to do with how he is still around or something like that. I don't know.
But
Like
what does he say
I'll
after?
see if I
He's-
can figure it
Oh,
out while
aging,
you're
yeah.
talking.
Yeah, he says something like survival. It's human nature, and then he either says like battle or mal or I don't know. I couldn't understand what it was.
Like,
Uh,
yeah. I'll have to
but
go back
then
and
like
listen.
Picard says a bunch of stuff at the end. He says, "We will fight or we die. Gun it. I need all of you," and that's intercut with Troy saying, "We're with you always." And then he does the classic engage thing with the actual pose that he does on the bridge of the Titan. And we get the reminder that the show comes out February 16th, and then end with Picard and Riker. Will, are you enjoying this? Riker saying, "Oh, of course not. Are you?" Ha ha ha. And that's the end of the trailer. So.
Very cool. Now can I go nuts? I'm just kidding.
Yes. Tell us what was now that I've refreshed you on it. What was the biggest highlight?
The character
figured it out.
moments. I think the character moments are the biggest thing, like the interactions.
That makes sense.
And the ship stuff is just like driving me nuts. I love the battle-y stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
the ship
what
stuff
about that
looks
other
really
ship?
good.
Which, by the way, Bill Krause also created, and I forget what class it is. It's from his shipyards. But that other ship, that's getting phasered. Oh, did you see that?
There's
Phaser?
a
How it,
few
like-
different ships.
Yeah, this is like I think this is one of those medical ships that Beverly was in, maybe.
Okay. We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Aaron, did you figure out what Lore was saying?
Yeah, and they also just put in the chat. It's like it's human nature, pal.
Pal.
cool.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay.
He's being
Okay.
smarmy.
As he should be. He's
Oh,
Lord.
it's
Yeah,
Brent,
right.
Brent Spiner playing himself.
Right. Right.
Oh. I'm glad they found a way to have Brent Spiner come and join everyone without being like, actually, Data's back again.
Yeah.
Like, well, mostly
Or
because
here's
like
B42.
even like Picard. I feel this way about both Picard seasons, which is like I have some issues with the season as a whole, but I feel like there's really good moments in the finales. And one is the Data in that finale of season 1.
I think also
I love that.
Father,
I love that scene.
The other big highlight is just getting a really good idea of the music. I'm pretty sure this is music composed by Stephen Barton. If not for the trailer, but definitely
the music is on point.
If not from the trailer, then from the show itself, and it's really great. I've been listening to it like over and over on a loop, and I just want the music.
I actually, I don't think this is music from the show, but I might be wrong. But
I think it might be. Yeah.
Okay.
We should. Terry Matalas seems to be online. Someone should ask him.
No, if he's in the audience, he should. The thing is like he'll tell us on Twitter. He never comments on YouTube because he watches YouTube on his TV in like his living room.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes if he's watching us, he'll tweet at
He'll answer
Starfleet Boy.
No, it's to all of us. He doesn't just tweet to me.
But yeah, so
I don't think Terry Matalas has ever tweeted at me. Like,
he tweets at Trek Central. He likes Trek Central.
Nice.
and Father and I host that Sunday show there, which is pretty fun. Which we're gonna start doing again when Picard comes out. So that's cool.
That's cool.
Nice.
But speaking of Terry Matalas and social media, one of the first things that we caught a glimpse of from season 3, I don't even think we knew it was season 3. We thought it might be season 2, but the picture of the Boswin whistle. That's what Boswin.
Oh yeah,
that's what you call
it.
Bosun.
Bosun.
It's
okay.
spelled Boatswain, I think, if I'm not. It looks like that.
I can never remember how you're supposed to say it. I know it's
bosun's whistle.
It's never the way I say it is always going to be wrong, but Benjinium in our audience thinks that the Starfleet officer might be a Zahian. I saw in the comments.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
They had a Zahian in the first episode of Picard, so there's a bit of a tradition.
Yeah.
We can assume this is probably all stuff from the first episode. It's going to be kind of that tropey thing of like, oh, this is just going to be like another routine mission, right? Just another routine inspection, very much like Kirk on the Enterprise and Wrath of Khan, and then the inevitable shit will hit the fan probably.
At this point, Starfleet should never send captains everybody knows on inspections. That's on them. Like,
you're too well known. I'm sorry, you can't go.
Yeah.
We do know that Terry is a big fan of the Star Trek movies, the TOS era movies, and I think they're definitely going to have a strong influence in the show. We can see a lot of that here, and there is the
cut of the new uniform even kind of has like almost a monster maroon, streamlined slant to it.
Oh yeah, and kind of just the nature of like a wraparound shirt like that. Yeah. And Beverly has like the collared jacket. She has a very like Carol Marcus look.
Yeah.
Also the just seeing the bosun and the way Seven announces them on the bridge is already a lot more procedure, like more kind of like akin to the Star Trek 2 Nicholas Meyer vision of what Starfleet looks like.
Nautical but nice, as
nautical
Nick
nice.
Meyer's wife like to call it.
Yeah, so I actually love all that nautical influence, so I actually
I
do
too.
enjoy seeing it. So
in fact, I liked it so much that as a kid I wanted to join the Navy, and then when I was a teenager, George Bush started invading countries. I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to be in the military actually, but. Anyways, our Titan captain. So yes, we finally get a look at him. We finally have the official confirmation of who the actor is. So Sohel's favorite. He's the main character of 12 Monkeys, right?
No.
Okay.
He plays a character named Deacon, who's just very memorable. Deacon's an awesome character.
Is he like the Garrick of that show? He's not like one of the main dudes, but he's like the one everyone likes.
Yeah. I don't know if everyone likes Deacon, but I will just say that.
Okay.
I will just say that like you want to like Deacon. I like Deacon. I like Deacon. I'll just say I like Deacon. That's what I'll say.
He has a like leading character energy to me. I don't know. He seems like an actor who can carry a show. I don't know, but
He's a very he has a very good stage, like he's on screen presence, and his voice is very awesome. Like his Todd Stashwick, at least as Deacon, and here he sounds pretty awesome too. I can't wait to hear him captaining.
His voice sounds so familiar, and I was like, I've never watched 12 Monkeys, so now I'm like, I wonder if
he's in a lot of stuff though. You may have seen him in here. We could pull him up on IMDb actually.
I'm looking at his Wikipedia page, and I know he was Dr. Riker on Kim Possible. That's exactly where I know his voice from.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You would know the voice.
Yeah.
Okay. I've
That's
never
why
watched
I
that
didn't
show
recognize
either,
his
but...
face, but I was like, that voice, I know that.
Oh wow, now that totally makes sense. Okay.
I always feel dumb whenever we're talking about like a new actor showing up in Star Trek, because 99% of the time it's like, I have no idea who this person is, but maybe one of y'all know. It's just like I promise I do watch non-Star Trek shows on occasion. It does happen, but it doesn't seem to happen enough for me to be familiar with all these new actors. But I don't think he's gonna last long as the Titan captain, right? We don't see a ton of him, and we know that like the ship is gonna be the, I guess, kind of like the base that our heroes are operating out of. So they don't really need, a captain of that ship. I think Riker and Picard and 7 of 9 can command this thing on their own.
If 7 was the captain, I'd be like, yeah, the captain's fine. But I was like, they put a captain instead of 7, dead. Like
Yeah. Well, do you ever really see him sitting in a chair anywhere? And you see all of our characters sitting in the captain's area. So.
I agree that the trailer doesn't tell us much about maybe what's going on. So I think they're saving a lot for the actual show, which I'm okay with. I'm happy with that, even though I'm dying to see it.
Yes.
But what I will say is that I wouldn't be surprised if if this character somehow makes it all the way through the show. I don't know. There's just something about I don't know. I have just a.
So he can be in the next generation.
Yeah, we do know that there's going to be a setup for a new show in here. So I think that there will be new characters like him that might be sticking around. I wouldn't be surprised if the show ends with 7 in command of the Titan, because it's like, oh look, 7 can command the ship in the new show.
Yeah. My guess for my prediction for the setup for the new show is 7 in charge of the Titan.
Yeah, I agree with that.
A spin-off of 7 and Rafi.
In our live audience, Jill47 thinks that a TNGer will die quickly. So
I don't know if I think she'll die quickly, but just something they were obviously like, I'll take something from you. I was like, someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Like it's like, oof, I don't.
Well,
love
I have a
this.
question. I have a question about the end of the trailer, but we could. Should I just ask it now?
Why not?
All right, so Jean-Luc, you hear his voice saying like, "I need you all now," or something to that effect. I have to go back and hear what it is, and then you see him on.
Yeah, he says, "I need you, all of you."
All of you, and then
whoever's left.
Right, and then we see him sitting on the captain's chair, and he's about to say engage. But we hear a voice over an intercom or like over the view,
there's like a bit of distortion on Troy's voice.
Right.
And she says, "We're with you always."
Oh, so it is Troy's voice. Okay.
I'm putting that I thought was Troy. Like
it did make me think like, is she dead? And that's like her Betazoid telepathy, like sending like one last message to him or something.
Although I'm now because
don't do
Patrick
that to me.
Stewart has also been on his like, actually we should do a movie now thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now it makes me think that maybe which I thought was interesting, because my prediction was Picard was going to die at the end of the season,
right,
for a while, and then I was like, that made me stop. It was like, oh, how would if he's dead? Like, I don't know that he would be suggesting that.
I think like Picard already died, like in a sense, like
this is
and it's okay because Kirk had 2 deaths as well, so like whatever,
Spock
Picard
died, Dr. Colber died.
There's a lot of
Shax
I guess you can get as many deaths and resurrections as you want.
Now trying to remember,
Neelix died.
A recent Sarah Michelle Gellar interview where someone made a joke they just couldn't kill you about something on Buffy, and she was like, I died several times.
That's true.
Going through the motions.
But
exactly.
when Troy says we're with you always, had kind of like that ghostly echo effect.
Yeah.
It made me think of
Yeah.
Ben Kenobi in Star Wars
Something like
after
that.
he's dead and he's
Interesting.
talking to Luke and he's like, "The Force will be with you always." It was like it
Use
had
the
that
Force
same
in
vibe
Zadi.
to it.
I did have this thought, and I was like, please don't make me watch Deanna die. I love her so much.
Yeah.
I know, it's true.
Especially because she like in Nepenthe was like, this is the possibility of a character well written for her.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
please.
But Marina has done a lot of post TNG Star Trek. She showed up on Voyager and Enterprise and Lower
Mhm.
Decks, and
I
Yeah,
feel like
she's
they'd
really
want to
good.
keep her around just because, like, I don't have a reason for this. Except that in my head, maybe he'd be the most busy, like, actor-wise. For some reason, I'm, like, worried about Geordi.
well, they have his daughters to like carry on after him.
Yeah.
we know
True.
that Geordi will have 2 daughters in the show.
And that's why I was just like, I don't know why I was just like, I have a fear. And for the record, I want none of these characters to die. This is not me. Like, I would like them all to just live happily, but that's not how TV works. So,
And Riker says this is the end in a weird way. Like if he's about to die,
Is he
I
like
don't know,
gonna like
there's,
self-sacrifice or something?
Yeah, I don't know.
The
There's
way
just so much.
I
There's so
don't-
much going on.
I can't tell you why, but the way he said, "This is the end, my friend," I was like, why does he have Q vibes?
Mm.
Oh.
But in a way that was very, like, in a very ominous way. And I was like, I don't think Q's ever said that line, but it feels like a line that Q...
It does feel like
Was-
something he would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, he would say.
Was there something about Q having a really touching scene with Jean-Luc that we haven't even seen yet? That was like something that
John Delancey said on the
okay.
Star Trek cruise a year ago that he had just shot something with Patrick Stewart that was like one of his proudest moments in all the Star Trek work that he had done, or something along those lines,
Yeah.
which I believe would have had to have been season 3 because they
Oh, okay.
had finished shooting season 2 much
I think
much
there's-
earlier than that.
Yeah.
A thing where I think it's supposed to be a secret if Q is in season 3, but
Yeah,
Patrick Stewart kind of said something about him being in season 3, and then John Delancey was like, I'm not in season 3. What are you talking about?
Hey,
So,
hey father,
yeah, I
Please don't
think
sue
he's,
me.
he's gonna show up.
Hey,
He's gonna
Father
he's gonna be here.
Loco New York just reminded me. We got so excited, but I do want to say that like it was very heartbreaking
Yeah.
to hear the news about Annie Wershing passing
Yes.
away.
so sad.
She was so awesome at Star Trek Chicago. Like she like even without like talking to you, she seemed to connect like the way she would make like really good eye contact and smile at people.
Well,
and
she was she was running around, like hugging people and like visiting
hugging
with people.
She was
and
like so awesome. Yeah,
Yeah,
she just had such a great energy.
she
and
seemed
she,
very
like,
happy to be there.
Yeah,
Like I get it, as part of the job, going to conventions and stuff.
No,
like
but she
not
seemed-
every actor is always going to be enthused, but some of them are
Yeah.
like kind of old and grumpy at conventions. Not blaming them, but that's how some of them
Yeah.
are. And she was like obviously enjoying it, just eating it up. Especially like we now know that she is sick with cancer. So I'm glad that she was able to do something that she seemed to have a lot of fun with, and I hope got like a lot of tremendous amount of fulfillment out of in her final years. But yeah.
And she interacted online too. I mean, that was
Yeah.
like, always really nice to hear from her.
I was speaking to y'all earlier today when when we saw the news, but my first reaction was like, wow, she gave such a dedicated performance that playing that character required a certain degree of physicality and
Mm-hmm.
just like having to just put up with the prosthetics and the wardrobe
Yeah.
to transform into the Borg Queen. So wow, like
I
she's very very dedicated to that part.
know. I thought that would be a role that would be kind of difficult to play under the best circumstances.
Yeah.
And like I can't imagine going through that when you're like that ill.
Yeah. So
And I watched the Ready Room episode with her. She has a whole episode with Will Wheaton. It's really good actually to go back and watch. And then just like this, she was describing how excited she was to do this and like how important it was to her. And like she was in Enterprise, of course. And it's heartbreaking to read the GoFundMe that Jonathan Frakes shared, because it looks like her whole life was her family. And, she just seemed like we got a glimpse of that. And I had a moment where I got to like just tell her like I loved your performance as the Borg Queen, and I said I'm gonna come to your booth and like we'll talk there. And then we had this like selfie moment with the Picard folks from the stage, but when I finally got to the booths, like I got to talk to Evan Evagora and Michelle Hurd, but Annie Wersching had already packed up for the day, so I was like, oh, I'll just see her at the next thing. And I'm like so heartbroken now because you really can't take that for granted, you know, like you never know when you'll see this people. So if you really like a performer, try your best if you can to see him at these conventions. And now I'm like, you know, kind of like sad that I didn't go and see her and get an autograph or something. So.
Yeah. I'll never forget in 2009, they were doing a special screening of Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan here in Austin at the Alamo Draft House. And I was thinking, like, well, that'd be cool to go to, but I've seen that movie so many times. I don't need to see it in a theater tonight. And it's like, oh, it turns out Leonard Nimoy secretly showed up at the Alamo Draft House to premiere Star Trek 09, the world premiere of the first Star Trek movie in years.
And halfway through, I was like, oh no, I know where this is going.
But yeah, that's how life works sometimes. But
yeah, it's true.
So and also 45 is so young.
Yeah,
yeah, it's like
my
it's insane.
Davey was 46.
So it is kind of
it's rough.
Oh.
Well, rest
but
in peace.
Starfleet boy, on a happier note, you were excited about the ship action in the trailer. I am too. Not only the familiar Starfleet ships that we see, like kind of a fleet assembling. It kind of looks like, but yeah, there's some ship battle action with. You think this is the medical ship that Crusher is going to be on?
Yeah, I think so. There's also
like crashing into the Titan. Like why are these Starfleet ships?
Yeah, but you see the
in?
shields. I analyzed this because I was like, holy crap, that's like a lot of damage. But it looks like the shield takes the brunt of the impact and really damages that other ship more.
Yeah, the ship's a goner, I think, but it looks so good. I mean, like the CG quality is outstanding. It's
it's insane.
All the Star Trek shows are pretty polished and high budget looking most of the time, but yeah, I think the ship stuff here definitely seems to be.
I have an ominous feeling
level.
about where this little fleet is going, but I do like that the Sagan class ships seem to be flanking and at the head of the fleet. They look badass
Sagan class
there.
is like the Stargazer, and we got some Sovereigns and at least one Odyssey class.
Yeah, and you could tell that the Enterprise F is the command ship because it's always the one at the aft of the squadron or whatever, you know. So it's kind of cool.
They're leading from the back.
Well, usually the command ship will, because it has to be the last to go, basically. Like it has to command the squadron, right? So yeah, it has to be the most protected.
Oh, I don't.
And it would make sure that the Enterprise. You didn't think I would have any kind of like strategy sense there, did you?
No, I'm just saying, like, that's never been like to my knowledge, that's never been like established in Star Trek as like.
But that's what
ships.
I think that's what I think that's what's cool is that like it looks like a formation that is very familiar. Is all I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? Like in terms of, you know, it's an interesting kind of thing, but it's scary too. But it could also be like. Sometimes there's naval displays, and so I know there's like a Federation Day or something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I found that poster.
So this could be the Federation Day naval display. So, like, of course, also in that.
This is like a celebration. This is like some type of parade or something that these.
That's what the fireworks that we saw. Probably.
Right, in a previous trailer.
So who knows? That's
a lot more positive than my thought. Yeah, because I was like, they're all gonna go, attack the bad guy and then get like smacked down.
What
and
if it's
establish her as a big
things?
threat.
Or no, yes.
What if this turns into an attack?
Sure.
Like, what if I'm right and the Enterprise F goes kaboom?
Yeah, if she really wants to be an asshole and like mess some shit up, that'd be like a good way to do that. Like I'm gonna go attack
on precious
Frontier
Federation
Day.
Yeah. I'm gonna go attack on Federation Day. It'd be like,
is it called Frontier Day? I think Pierre.
No, let me find it.
Is it okay? But it's something.
I tried to recreate the poster based on like tiny slivers of picture. Like,
so Trek culture seems that it's
They seem to think
it's
Frontier Day as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is the Frontier Day, like, pageant.
What would Frontier Day even be like a celebration of?
Archer and like those things, like the Frontier Days of the Federation. Like it could be the like celebrating the fact that the Federation's mission is always one of going out into the frontier and discovering strange new worlds.
But typically, if it's like a day on the calendar like that, you'd think it'd be like an anniversary of like some like like First Contact Day celebrates First Contact Day, April 5th.
What did Archer do that would be a Frontier Day thing? I guess
Just
Could it be established the Federation?
launch of the
like
first Starfleet ship or
Yeah.
something. Even
Well,
the name
what year
Frontier
does this
Day
thing-
doesn't seem obvious to me as anything. Like I would be like, why not call it Starfleet Day if you're celebrating like Archer's first mission?
Mm-hmm.
It might be a little too nationalistic these days, but I wish America had a Frontier Day.
Like this is the day that we stole all the
but,
land
like,
from the Native
no, but, like,
Americans. Yeah,
no,
that ain't gonna
exactly. More
fly.
truthful and from different perspectives. I think it would be interesting. Like what we were calling the frontier was actually, maybe not the frontier. And I don't know.
Unfortunately, I
That's a
think that's
tangent,
what
yeah.
Columbus Day was.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
Um,
It's gone now though. Now I'm
Yeah, now
glad
we have
it's
Indigenous Peoples
Yeah.
Day, right?
Yeah, it's
as
good.
as we should. Columbus was not a good person.
Literal slave trader.
Exactly.
So I guess let's talk about the elephant in the room, though. Y'all's homeboy, who may or may not be Picard's son. Are there any other theories other than Picard bastard? Anyone got anything else who this guy might be?
I had other theories, but now that I'm seeing it, I don't have those theories anymore.
Okay, this is me spitballing because I kind of just don't want him to be his son.
Yeah,
Because-
spitball away, because I don't either.
Could it be his nephew was frozen somewhere and he didn't know?
Renee?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Because one,
That would
it's
be-
fucking depressing that he died in a fire to begin with.
Yes, yeah, fix
Yeah.
that, please.
Yeah.
Oh my
If
god.
that's- I don't know if that's what it is, but oh my
I
gosh.
also-
I don't want to get my hopes
I
too
find it interesting that they had Renee Picard last season, and I was like, that's interesting that they're bringing that character up
Interesting.
Mhm.
in a way. But also, they've already done. Does Picard have a son? And they've already does Picard have a clone? So
Yeah, no more Picard
But the
clones.
Picard-
we
but-
literally just did that in
I-
Nemesis. I know
But
that's 20
like, it
something
would
years
also be
ago, but-
okay if, but like, this would finally be like, this is his real deal son. This is it.
It's just-
It's
In-
interesting.
In TNG in that season 7 episode, with where the Ferengi had the fake Picard
I
son.
will say this actor looks more like Patrick Stewart than Tom Hardy does. So
Tom Hardy, well, yeah, you're right.
Tom Hardy has the biggest lips in the world, and Patrick Stewart has the smallest lips in the world.
Oh yeah, the Tom Hardy has got
Those
the
were
thick lips.
his lips were changed because of the way he was raised on.
There's a
on
line of
Remus.
dialogue in the movie, that where he says he got beat up a lot.
He got
growing
beat up
and
a lot. Yeah, so
Yeah,
gave
kind
him
of messed up
bee-stung-
his face a little bit.
He got bee stung lips. 'Cause
Yeah, I
Those
know.
Romulan guards were beating up the Remans.
Yeah,
It's,
Yeah,
it ain't
that's-
easy. It ain't
that's
easy
how
in
genetics works.
the minds of Remus.
The
The genes expressed themselves. I don't know. That was 21 years ago. But yeah, no clone, no son, please. like
I'm okay
the,
with nephew because one, nephew has been established, and two, I'm very sad that he died.
But yeah,
I'm
so
heartbroken about Renee and Robert, but Renee, that would be epic.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be some. If it's
And
not
I'm
the
saying,
case,
and I'm saying, maybe he was
You should write
frozen
a
because this
fanfic.
actor is clearly not the age Renee would be if he had kept aging.
Oh, okay.
Which is, and then also why Picard if I feel like if Renee had survived this fire and was just living somewhere,
yeah,
Picard would have found out by now.
that
Yeah,
fire
that's true.
was in 2270. No, it was in 2370, right? That was Generations, or 71. I think it's 71. And then this is in 2402, I think. So it'd be 31 years plus. Yeah, this guy would be he's a little young to be a guy in his 40s, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel, my
I-
working theory up until now is that he had a secret son that he didn't know about with Nella Darren.
From
Oh.
Lessons, the
Yeah.
woman he
That's
dated.
not terrible. I would guess if he has a secret son, I think it's with Beverly. And I'm pro letting them actually be a little coupley, but I don't need a secret Picard son.
Kevin Richardson is on our side. He also says,
Yeah.
"I pray it's not Picard's son." So.
If they hadn't done that kind of thing multiple times with this specific character,
Okay, so this scene, real quick, I'm just realizing, is that the pod that Dr. Crusher's frozen in? from other trailers?
Oh yeah, will we
No,
see her
probably.
in this trailer here at near the end? Yeah, I think it's that same pod.
Interesting.
But yeah,
So
that was
like that meeting takes place on. What?
I'm sorry, I just saw Pierre's comment. I'm just saying, Bevan was away for a whole season. I knew a girl in high school who did something similar.
that was actually Aaron. You had mentioned that to me recently, right? That could have been something that happened in season 2.
I think the actor's a
man.
little young for that.
Wait, and are we gonna have flashbacks that like explain like how whatever it is that happens? Which I don't even know yet. I think it's gonna be that he's their son. It has to be that. He's their.
I
No.
think I figured out Frontier Day.
I will
That
say,
go back.
if it is Picard's song, I wanted it to also be Beverly. That way, I could at least have like my shipping heart can be happy.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that too. I'd be very happy.
But-
And actually, ultimately, I don't know. Like, I'm nervous that the son is evil, but like, or bad somehow. I don't know. He might be on the
Well,
side
yeah,
of bad.
he's like him and
did Vatic
Jean-Luc
raise
are
him?
literally like pointing phasers at each other
Yeah.
in the
it's true.
trailers.
I feel like that's gonna be like a turn. Like it's not. He's not gonna actually be bad. Like they're gonna be slightly antagonistic for each other for like an episode kind of thing. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. They just do this so much. Like they did an Indiana Jones movie where it's like, look at this badass younger version of himself, and they don't get along at first, but then at the end they do, and he can be his replacement. Or they what else do they do that in? It's like it happens in stuff all the time. I don't know.
And then that actor went off the deep end, so he's not in the
Die
next
Hard.
sequel.
Die Hard. They did like a Die Hard movie where it's like Bruce Willis and his son, and it's
I have
like,
not watched the later Die Hard movies.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
stopped after the 4th one. But
Yeah,
they
that's
did one
fair.
where it's like, look, here's the replacement for Bruce Willis if we continue the Die Hard franchise. It's like, yeah, actually none of us want that. So I'm
this
hoping this is
character-
not Jean-Luc's son.
Trek Culture reports. I'm like Trek Culture reports. Sorry, I'm just like always thinking of y'all as news organization for some reason. But Ed Spieler's shot. Who's behind the Trek Culture? If you're allowed to say, Ed Spieler's shot shoots an officer towards the end. So he's
You're a
definitely
collective.
baddie,
It's
so-
all of them.
Yeah, they have a Borg thing going on over there.
Yeah.
What? Oh, when Brandon, I'll watch the Die Hard movies with you if we can like drink. That's
I think I might have figured out Frontier Day.
What's Frontier
right.
Day, Aaron?
My ADD made me like go search up. So it's supposed to take place 2401 or 2401.
Mhm.
250 years before that was the launch of the NX-01. So exactly 250.
Okay.
So that could be it.
And
That'd
it
be
would
cool.
make sense to call it could be the first Frontier Day then, in honor of
What
that.
do you call that if
centennial.
it's a 250-year celebration? Would it be like
Or
a
250 whatever.
biquincentennial or something?
There you go.
Someone tell me like the correct grammatical way to describe that. What's going on
Wait.
with Raffi in this trailer? She does not
Oh,
seem to be
do
doing
you have the next
Starfleet.
frame, like what happens after? Like it looked like it sealed her eye shut or something, right? Or
Oh
did she just
yeah.
close her. I don't know. I was
She
looking
just,
at it.
I think she
gotta
closes her
pull it
eye
up.
after that.
She
but-
closed her eye. Yeah,
But yeah,
Semiquincentennial. You're right.
it is something.
Sorry.
That's awesome. What is it?
I'll put it in chat. Oops.
Trust no one.
There we
That's
go.
like creeping me
Yeah.
out.
So this is that Ready Room clip, right? We saw Picard in his Ready Room. He gets a message from.
So he
We
just
don't-
turns all
we
his
don't know in
rooms
the-
to
in the
Chateau
clip,
Picard
but-
now.
Yeah, he's hanging out at Chateau Picard, and he gets a message from Dr. Crusher saying, "Trust no one." So this either happens before or after he's on like that inspection mission on the Titan.
Love that they like cut that clip off. Like, and who's the message from? I was like, we actually seen several trailers with Beverly sending him a message.
Yeah,
Like,
it wasn't that hard to figure out. Valamist says, "I fear for poor Raffi." So I think
she's
Raffi is going to
looking
be
at a
okay.
She's looking at a little girl in one scene. Is that her granddaughter?
I don't. She doesn't look
oh,
anything like her son though. So
or her Romulan mom. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, like
The mom wasn't human. I don't remember. She might have been.
yeah,
Romulan.
the mom
She
was
was
a
Romulan.
Romulan.
Okay. That might be. I guess it's been implied that
I love that
sometimes
shot.
that a lot
There
of
you go.
interspecies, maybe like she is very like.
That was just like 3 years ago for this though. Like the kid wouldn't be this old.
Look at
But why
Alexander.
would she? That looks like a 3-year-old kid.
That's,
okay,
she
well,
looks
maybe
about
then.
4 to me. So that's
Yeah, maybe
I mean,
4. Yeah.
She does look
I would
part
s-
Romulan though. I could see it.
I could
was
see
just-
Romulan, and I could see her being the because I would like she looks like she could be mixed race.
Aaron, what do you think with this kid? Is this Raffi's granddaughter?
I think. I mean, like, look at.
Oh,
how
yeah,
Raffi's
the one who-
responding there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say
That
she
makes
looks
sense.
4, and there's like implied to be
Yeah,
a pretty big break between season 1 and season 2 of Picard.
Right.
Yeah, there's a 2-year gap there, and I
Yeah.
think another 1-year gap.
Yeah.
here,
Can you
so-
tell if she's if she has any Romulan influences?
Yeah, she kind of has Romulan looking eyebrows. I think her ears are
Yeah.
conveniently hidden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I bet they would do that just so they wouldn't have to put a prosthetic on like
Yeah.
a
I mean,
child.
the original
that's true,
series
yeah.
did that to save money, so
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
why they put helmets on their Vulcans and Romulans, most of them.
Yeah.
It's funny. I wasn't even thinking of money. I was just thinking it'd be annoying to try to get a little kid to sit in the makeup chair.
Yeah, well, they put Cardassian makeup on a baby in Deep Space Nine once upon a time. so-
I remember that. I was just like, what? I was like, that's don't like like. You know
Please
what? Maybe you know what? I for the most part, I'm like, yeah, use practical effects. Maybe use CGI that time.
We get a
I'm
good
not
look at the
then.
masked individuals. Do you guys have any
Yeah.
idea? I mean, they look similar to.
I like it.
The Witness in 12 Monkeys, but very different. This is more of a well, I won't get into like too much of a breakdown, but like so I think there's like definitely an homage going on to 12 Monkeys there, but like they're definitely something Star Trek. But do you have any idea? They have masks that have like
It has
I mean,
a
they have,
bird
some
like
kinda
it has like a bird
Yeah.
beak to it.
Yeah.
They have bird like
Or
features.
Is
they
this
do.
the great bird of the galaxy that we're looking at? There's like one who's like I don't know, like the head one that like stands next to her. Like there's like the big one who's be like the boss in a video game, and then there's like all the shorter ones running around.
Will we get
uh,
a live action avian species? That
Yeah. That's what I want. It's like
It would
that's
be cool.
interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'd be
could
down
be,
for
like
that.
you
Thought
said,
about
Score
that.
or Aurelian.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
You know, the way that they present the Aurelian character in Prodigy, the first officer from the Protostar that we see with Chakotay whenever it has like those flashbacks to when they were captured and stuff like that. The way that they're depicted there is, much more humanoid. I could
So
kind
they
of
have
see
no
that.
wings. They're a wingless subspecies, basically.
Yeah, where you had arms and then no wings. So these guys could be similar. They're probably something new though. I'm gonna assume this is
Yeah.
an original creation.
They have
Vatic
that
is one of the
look that looks familiar about it. Just like, oh, it's from probably many number of things. Just like it has that look, like scary alien / horror movie vibe. Anyway, sorry.
Vatic is one of those characters or one of the things in the show that like I don't have any excitement or enthusiasm for. I think it's cool they got like Christopher Plummer's daughter to like the guy who was like the last TOS enemy. Now like his daughter gets to be the last TNG enemy, I guess. That's neat, but
Oh, I did not realize this is Christopher Plummer's daughter.
yeah, Amanda
cool.
Plummer. There's even that shot, Rachel, of her like spinning around in the chair and like command of her ship. That's similar to how Chang was, quoting Shakespeare, spinning around.
Uh-huh.
That is a really good point. It's funny. Christopher Plummer is the one big Star Trek actor that Star Trek is not the thing I like associate them with because I'm also a very big Sound of Music fan.
Ah, okay.
You guys, I just realized something. The avian influence goes into the ship's name too, right? The Shrike's a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were even saying like it kind of has like a Romulan
Maybe they are,
style to it. It's very,
Yeah.
like,
It's got looks like the
Narada-esque.
Narada. Yeah.
Yeah. And if
But it
you're
does
looking
feel
at
like it could be very bird-like too in that way, like pointy and kind of beak-like.
She says something in the previous trailer. I'll peck at you or something. I'll peck or I'll.
Yeah.
what-
So she's
Oh,
totally
yeah.
like a bird. Like that's like her theme. It's
Maybe
like
she was
bird
raised
themed.
by these avians.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's interesting.
Ooh.
It's like
If we
the-
got like live action Aurelian or score, I'm like, okay, fine, all right, I like the show.
yeah, that's how to get Aaron on board. Terry, if you're out there, just whatever you got to do in your show,
random
just put, like,
TAS reference, and then
Yeah.
do whatever you want.
put some TAS Easter eggs in there, and
Yeah.
Aaron will be as big of a cheerleader for you as Starfleet
Look,
boy.
There was
Look
a
at that
Glomer
cool
in
ship.
season 1 in Kester's bedroom, stuffed animal.
Oh, I forgot all about that. That is
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, season 1 had a lot of good. I think people forgot like all the good things that were in season 1 of Picard.
I have a theory about season 1 that like I had more fun at one point when I went back and watched it, and I think it suffered from coming out when everything was going down in like March of 2020. That it
Yeah.
was like
because the pandemic started. It
it's
got
like
me
in
through
the
it.
middle.
Like I felt like it for me, but you're right. Like it maybe got like kind of people got distracted because
Yeah.
there was a
Well,
real
like,
life crisis going on.
for instance, when season 1 of Picard started, I went to a bar and watched it with a group of people, and by the end of season 1 of Picard, I was locked in my home. Too much.
We
going on.
didn't even get to do our screenings. We had already here been like the theater shut down, and
They probably shouldn't have, but I live in Texas. I don't know.
no. I mean, and also like we were just being overly cautious. And then,
Yeah.
Well, it's turned out to not be that overly cautious. But... Yeah, so we had like we send out pictures with like an LCARS alert. It's like, pandemic alert kind of a thing, and it's like, quarantine, stay home, and all this stuff. So then we watch it online.
So hell, this is the other Kraus ship. Right?
No, I think
Oh.
this someone else may have designed this ship. I don't. The other Kraus ship is the one that's being phasered at.
Okay, I see.
by Vatic, I think.
But we think this is Dr. Crusher's ship, right? This is
Yes.
the medical ship.
Yes.
We've been told that she's doing like kind of Doctors Without Borders type of
And
humanitarian
I'm sorry, I should have
medical
said
work.
Admiral Kraus, by the way, just in case
Admiral
he's
Kraus?
Yeah. Carry on.
Oh, it's a Tycho starship, kind
Yeah.
of like, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is the.
Did you say that
Tycho.
already? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no,
It's the
actually,
what?
I went to
The
build
Tycho?
Yeah, she's an updated Tycho classic.
What's the Tycho?
Classic. Probably
I don't know the Tycho.
Tycho's his shipyards, the name of his shipyards that he had. He's a ship designer as well.
Oh,
He
so, like,
does-
Bill
Oh,
Krause
it's
is-
an update. It's one of ship from his thing. Okay, that makes more sense.
Okay,
It's
so
a- yeah, it's
just like
another
the,
That's not what
updated
it's
ship.
called. It's just
Yeah, okay.
Right.
So
I'll see if
the
I can find the
Titan,
name.
the Titan is one of his designs that he called the this Shangri-La class.
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember what this class is called, but I think he's
Yeah, that's what I'm
posted
looking for.
its predecessor before. But it has an awesome design. Like when we get to that ship, I love where the what is that? The impulse generator. I love
the
the
impulse
placement-
crystal.
or
the-
whatever.
Yeah, there's a good
look
look at it somewhere in here.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody says like inquiring minds respectfully request further details, and he said all will be revealed in time. Now is not it.
Okay, cool.
That was 50 minutes ago, so okay, we're not
Okay.
gonna find out.
Yeah, but I think this
Now
is,
it's time. It's almost
Yeah.
in an hour.
so I think
This could be a
That's
Doug
funny.
Drexler design, maybe, or something. Was he working on this?
I
Yeah,
thought
he
you just
worked
said
on
this
that.
was an updated Bill Krause design from the Tycho.
No, the
Oh.
one that gets phasered later on. You'll see
Oh,
it.
okay,
It's coming
okay.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Not
not
this one.
No. Yeah,
Okay,
this
so
one
we
is
don't
not.
know who designed this, but so I think it's safe to say that the bird minions of Vatic attack Crusher on the ship, and she sends out the distress call to Jean-Luc, telling him to trust no one.
Right.
So-
Which means she must have found out what Vatic is up to. So I wonder if we
Mm-hmm.
find out what Vatic is. The reason why they haven't said
Mm.
anything is because maybe we find out really early, like in episode 1 or something. I don't know.
So we know the stakes, and they don't. And
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
don't.
Mhm.
Patrick
Maybe
Stewart
Crush-
looks so sad after Riker tells him, "This is the end, my friend." It's like I feel sorry for him. Like, wow, like he looks like someone just ran over one of his pit bulls or something.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
it's very. Oh, jeez.
that's awful.
I can't believe you said that.
Oh, he's
I'm
emoting
never
well.
gonna get that
He's-
image
he's,
out
he's,
of my
he's
mind.
expressing he's expressing that sadness very well.
He does look very
The end,
sad,
Jean-Luc.
yes.
No more pizza. That's what this was gonna say.
This is the
Oh
end.
no, this is gonna become a
Dun, dun,
meme, isn't
dun.
it?
The final voyage
Yeah.
begins.
Even though I guess people
But like the final voyage, like, see, this is interesting to me. Like, it's very interesting how absent anything ceremonial, this crew is so associated with the Enterprise to me, and it's just very interesting. But I'm still digging it. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, it's subverting my expectations. Like, it's doing something really cool and new in the sense that it's what I had in my mind was that like Star Trek 6 idea. I think it's gonna do a very TNG era, or that crew. It's gonna honor them just as much as it's gonna pull from the old, which I'm very excited about. So yeah.
One thing I really like is the updated LCARs. I know we saw a little bit of that last year, just because they could have made kind of bungled that, but I think it looks suitably current or more modern, but you look at it and you instantly know what it is.
And it was actually Mike Okuda came back to work on that.
To work on
Yeah.
it, yeah.
So
Actually, I even put it into my comic book cover.
Ooh.
Can't really see very well, I guess, but yeah.
nice.
No, I actually got the correct hex values and all the stuff for the thing, so it should look like it does on the screen.
And we have to give Mike McMahon credit for bringing Mike Okuda back, because he was the first of the current shows in production to call up Mike Okuda and ask him for help with some of the LCAR stuff, and then he contributed to Picard seasons 2 and 3. I
have an image of what I think when you get to that part, I have an image of what I think the original Admiral Buck design, or the Tycho design for that, the design for that, whatever that class ship is, but I have to find out what class it is still. But I think I have the image of the what it's based on, what it's been updated to.
So Earth Space Dock is where we saw the fireworks in a previous trailer, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So this is probably around that same sequence where we see like the Enterprise F joining with that other group. So yeah, I think it is part of that same celebration. So yeah, so I'm
probably Frontier Day.
Whenever we get to the episode where they're like shooting fireworks and celebrating, I'm gonna get nervous. I'm gonna be like, oh, this is when Vadic's gonna strike. That the one trailer, it has footage of like that building that we think might be like a Starfleet museum, like being collapsed or something. So I wonder if that's part of it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Especially if like she's like trying to, attack like people's morale. Like let's
Didn't somebody
destroy
say
all
though?
the...
It wasn't on Earth? I thought we heard
Yeah.
Terry Matalas say that at some point. Okay.
Yeah, I think
It's possible this is not
like
Earth Space Dock though. This could be a different planet.
Yeah, I don't
suppose,
see a very familiar continent. It could be that might be Africa. I don't know, but
I can't make out the continent.
It's really hard when you're actually in orbit and like that.
Yeah.
Like it's
yeah.
Yeah. I think we're looking at clouds. Like, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, there's something like beyond.
Maybe some. Yeah.
Yeah. It's John Donne, the audience.
My eyes
says
are not that
Starbase 78. Like the trailer, trailers are always going to be a little deceitful, or maybe a lot deceitful,
Right.
because
Yes.
one could think that it's one could
They
think
also
that a scene,
it also could be a planet the effects are not done on.
right.
John Dawes saying maybe it's Starbase 78. I hope not, because I don't think those guys will fare very well under any kind of attack or anything. And then Trek Culture is saying it's Ryza Space Dock.
Sure.
I think I know the name of the
That'd be
ship
funny.
or the class of the ship that is the Bill Krause second, the other ship that made it into.
Point it out when we get there. What's going on in this room? Do we think this is where like Moriarty's hollow program has been stored?
That was my joke. I don't know if that like it down here. Look at the bottom. Go back for a second. The down at the bottom there. That almost looks like some sort of plasma feed or whatever. It just like it has an engine room vibe to it, but the rest doesn't.
It almost feels like I'm watching Discovery season 1 or season 2, where everything's blue.
Oh yeah.
Blue Riker. I just like the lighting in here. It makes my beard stand out.
But it also gives him like that Thomas Riker thing you're talking about. He has an ominous and kind of creepy look.
Oh no, is he gonna rip off his sideburns?
It does look like the stellar cartography. It
Yeah.
does look like the stellar cartography catwalk and round thing, at least.
If you brighten up the picture though, like back in front of it, it almost looks like bars or something, and then it goes beyond that. There's actually space past that, what looks like a wall. So I don't know what it is. It's
So maybe this is
It's
AI
interesting,
prison, which we know they do at the Daystrom Institute thanks to Lower Decks.
the
but
megalomaniacal computer holding area or whatever.
Yeah, he looks like he's in a dark blue
Movie
light
theater.
room too. So yeah, he's in the theater. There's the projector behind him.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, he has the line of dialogue, such pathetic old warriors. So he might be a little bitter after being imprisoned for a couple decades in a little box.
He was-
Almost
he
30 years.
He was bitter the first time they brought him out again.
That's
Like,
true.
That's
That's
true.
true, yeah.
like,
I like someone's just pointing out, like, oh yeah, these people are old now. Like, I mean, they all look great for their 70s, but it's just
yeah.
it's funny how we think of like old age now compared to what we used to think. Because I remember Star Trek 6, they even joked about it in The Simpsons. That was the thing. It's like, wow, these people are way too old to still be doing this. And that was 25 years after the original series started. Now we're over 30 years past the beginning of TNG, right? That was what, 36 years ago?
The way, and I
Yeah.
think people just
Right.
age differently now, but anytime they ever age people up in Star Trek and now seeing how they actually aged, you're like, yeah, they didn't age like that.
Yeah.
What's interesting with him that they don't have to age him at all, because if the simulation that he's in
Right.
is actually working properly, he would just age.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
Works out pretty nicely for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that they finally brought Moriarty back, because the actor had been saying at conventions literally for decades. For as long as Moriarty has been locked away, he's
Yeah.
been saying, like, yes, they should totally bring back Moriarty. I'd be willing to do it.
Picard
So.
season 3 is just him blackmailing everybody.
So,
to bring it back.
It's like, so I watched TNG, I was pretty young. I hadn't really watched much Sherlock Holmes. And like, anytime I'm reading Sherlock Holmes now and I imagine Moriarty, I imagine him.
Yeah.
Like, because he was the first, like, I think that was the first time I ever heard the name Moriarty. Like, I watched Sherlock, don't imagine that actor. Like,
Daniel Davis is a very good Moriarty. I think he should have played Moriarty like in an actual
more traditional,
Holmes.
like,
Yeah, I think so.
I like him being our Moriarty for Star Trek.
No, I do like that too. Yeah, I
Mhm.
do kind of like that he's our. Yeah, it's cool.
someone
Yeah.
get Berkeley to deal with Moriarty.
And now he's royalty free. He's
Yeah,
like-
they are-
like, so-
That's what they've been waiting for, just to, like, not
Oh,
Oh,
that
maybe?
might not be.
That-
Yeah, because they did
Yeah,
have
he
problems the first time around.
They did.
Mm.
Yeah, so maybe. Oh, wow.
a
very
state of Sir
clever.
Conan Arthur Doyle just loves to stew people.
The Worf Raffi stuff, that's interesting to me, that we see like the two of them fighting, and I don't really know what Raffi's thing is going to be, because she seemed to be back in Starfleet in season 2. Everything we see of her in season 3, she's in civilian clothes, she's on this,
I wonder
maybe
if
she's doing like
undercover.
undercover stuff. Yeah, okay, that works. But why does she have this conflict with Worf
I
even
wonder
after
One of her undercovers is to, like, maybe get Worf out of somewhere, so maybe they're like
Mm.
pretending to fight or something,
Mm.
or like he doesn't know she's an undercover. He doesn't know she's undercover.
Like
Maybe
Jean-Luc sends her to recruit him.
Yeah.
But he's like telling her things like, I too want, what does he say exactly? Let me look in my notes here. But I too was once irrational and violent. So it sounds like he's trying to like calm her down and like get her to stop fighting or something.
Do you think, just out of curiosity, do you think the show will address Alexander at all?
Possibly.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think
I would not be surprised
No,
at all if
it-
they
it
don't.
might-
They don't
it-
We
It
haven't heard
him in-
Beverly for 2 seasons. Why would we get him?
Yeah.
It'd be pretty easy to. In fact, now that the more I think about it, I think that they will mention Alexander. I don't think
Yeah.
he'll be like on screen, but I think that they'll say something about him.
So it'll be like, hey,
if
don't
Terry
give us
Matalas is
sun.
watching by any chance, let us
Like-
know. He might have already been asked this question. He gets so many. If you see how many ats on Twitter that he gets, it's kind of crazy. I can't imagine he's got the time to see all of that stuff.
But I think that there will be some Worf Raffi, like, I don't know, he's gonna like bestow some type of like message or lesson that like she takes to heart. And if I think it's possible Worf might be the TNG cast member who dies if someone is gonna die. It would make a lot of sense for it to be Worf, because he's like a guy who like, oh yeah, I would love to have a
And
you know,
he'll get
cool
his
heroic
honorable
And
death.
if he dies with
I-
honor, like he'll go
Yeah.
to
Okay,
Nova
the
Corps,
reason
and
I-
that
I
will
feel-
fulfill his dreams, like
I
that he's had since he was
feel-
a kid.
He can be a captain.
Yeah.
No, I feel like Michael Dorn's still holding out for that Worf Captain show.
Yeah, that's
That's
my
never
joke.
gonna happen. They're not
I-
Michael. No producer is going to be like Michael Dorn. He looks like a guy who can carry a TV show. This guy in his 70s who's never
That's
been the
not
lead in
true.
anything.
That's
Let's
not
totally
true.
build. It is true. It's exactly true.
That's not true.
That-
Have you seen
I
him
did
on the
Stop trying to make Worf happen, like GIF.
I-
Have you seen him on
He
the
doesn't talk about that anymore. When was the last time Michael Dorn brought that up?
Podcast, Fathery? Did you see him there?
No, but
Go
you think
check out Shuttlepod. It's cool. And I think actually Dominic Keating and Connor Trenier can all come back, and the three of them should be in a show together. That's,
Okay.
that's the show that I think we need.
I think Michael Dorn is leading man worthy. Also, Michael
I
Dorn out of
agree.
makeup is the most attractive TNG cast member. That is-
Yes, he's very.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying that if you're
LeVar
the
Burton isn't bad either.
if you're
Yeah.
the
That is
guy
true.
in charge of green lighting shows for Paramount Plus, I don't think that that's one you're gonna
I
swipe
would
right on.
say, like we talked about, like making shows that will bring in the people who aren't like diehard Star Trek fans. Of the people, like my family members, sort of like when they talk about Star Trek, Worf is kind of the like one character they remember.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
my
Worf
parents-
is my
I'm not a
favorite
Klingon.
TNG or
Yeah.
DS9 main cast member. Like, I love Worf. I love Michael Dorn. I
I'd
gave
say-
him an embarrassing fanboy letter at a convention in 2001 or 2002.
Oh, I had so many
that,
questions
like,
about that.
Yeah,
like
me
now, like
too.
I'm almost like embarrassed and hope like he didn't read it, because it was just like, I love you as Worf so much. Like, you changed my life.
What if
with
he's
that
like
character."
listening right now
Aw.
and he's like, I had saved that letter that father guy had sent, and now I'm watching his show because I recognize his name, and he's talking smack about me
That'd
not
be
being
awesome.
a leading man in my 70s.
But no, I don't think he's gonna get.
You are
that
without
job.
honor.
You are without honor.
I just don't.
That's fair.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'd
I
love to
just-
be wrong, but
I would say like not wishful thinking. My favorite Star Trek character is Bashir. I'm not sitting here telling you Bashir like that they're gonna make a Bashir TV show.
yeah.
That's
It
not
would
gonna
really
happen.
be great if they always talked about an anthology show or whatever. Like if they could do that, where like they would have a flexible format, like do an arc of 3 or 4 episodes of a story about Bashir, and then do something about
I
Worf.
don't-
Like don't connect them
I
all
honestly
necessarily.
feel like you could do like anthology, even like do more like Twilight Zone, maybe longer, like hour and a half longer episodes. Just be like, hey, here's an hour and a half about this Star Trek character that you're really into, and we cannot build a movie
Yeah.
around.
I think do that in animation, and then you don't have to worry about like building sets and props. You
That's-
only use
yeah.
once
I think
and
they
throw
would
away.
all love to do animation, and I love
I think
Star Trek
so. I think the
animation. there
problem
needs to be more of
being
it,
is I
yeah.
think we're pitching short treks.
Well,
short.
they were
longer
very
tracks.
short treks though. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
I
very
don't-
short. We want short,
Mid
longer
treks.
tracks.
If Short Trek had like a half-hour format instead of a
Can-
15-minute
Yeah.
format, I think that
Call
would
them
have-
random
extra large
tracks and just
edition.
do it whenever you have the budget.
Random.
Like just
Yeah.
call it random
I-
track.
I think mix it with live action and animated.
Yeah, that would be good.
Do
That
Roger
Love,
Rabbit
Death,
style.
and Robots show. There's no reason why.
I don't
Star
think
Trek
together. I
couldn't
think
do something cool like that just expands the world and goes to other places. Go like a whole episode on Cardassia or something like that would be cool.
I like the I'm not a fan
Love
of the
the warp.
hyperdrive tunnels for the warp effect in Star Trek, but this is one of the cooler looking ones, I think. The one that we see the Titan using.
And she's so beautiful. Look at the Titan. I'm in love with this ship.
I do
I
too.
don't know how you
I
guys
love
feel
the
about it.
Constitution class, and I love the Constitution vibes that we get here.
Yeah.
So much so that they're calling it the Neo Constitution.
There was a really
the-
cool. I think I forget who it was on Facebook. Maybe you shared it, Fathery, but one of the designers of yesteryear of the TNG era, the Berman era, said something cool about how gave a backstory to how it was designed, and I wouldn't do it justice.
How what was
paraphrasing.
designed?
The
In
Titan,
universe or
like that
real
class?
life?
Yeah, in it like perhaps like a.
Mhm.
Like I think his own take maybe, but it looked pretty cool. I'll try to find it and tell you more about it. Maybe someone in the audience knows what I'm talking about, but
Yeah,
It
I
might
didn't
have
share
been
that. I'm
Doug
not
Drexler.
sure what you're
Oh,
talking
okay.
about, but
Sorry, Starfleet Boy is exposed to so much Star Trek. It's a lot. It gets jumbled.
Sometimes
into
I feel like
together.
it's just been put random in my brain. It's just like, what are we
Yeah,
talking
it's like-
about?
I'm like, I know I saw something.
have you
I
been
just-
exposed to anything that
Ooh.
helps? Oh, we got a super chat in the live
Wow,
audience
that, is
from
that like
our friend
that's the first
Snoopy
super chat I
McQueen.
got. My dopamine just
Uh,
went through the roof. Thank you, Snoopy McQueen. That's awesome.
Yes, thank you so much, Snoop. And he's saying, I am excited for Picard season 3. Trailer looks good. Our heroes
too.
got old. Yeah, they did
Yeah.
get old, but
That's what happens.
know, I've said this before, but that's one of the things I like most about Star Trek is it's one of the
Yeah.
few franchises out there that last this long that allows its heroes to
Mhm.
age. Like James Bond is always like a 40-year-old, like no matter like what decade
Yeah.
you're watching James
I
Bond
think, like,
movies in.
especially
it's like the BBC.
Yeah,
it's true with like the franchise in general, but especially it is pretty rare to see women be allowed to age and still be like the action hero.
yeah, and
Yeah, it's true.
it's really cool that we watched the original series, people grow old. We're watching the TNG, people go old. I always say that Star Trek is a show about like the human experience and about humanity, and that
Mhm.
aging is a big part of the human experience.
Yeah.
And for some, it's an adventure.
What do-
It's part
what
of
do
the
we
human
think
adventure
that-
as well?
What do we think that they mean by the that line of dialogue? Is anybody you know still the person you knew? What do we think that means?
That's where Rachel's or whoever's earlier idea about the Dominion kind of gets me wondering if there's like a
There's changeling infiltration.
changeling
Yeah.
infiltration, but I don't
No,
know.
that's-
like,
I assume
sounds
that
more
that,
like
now
a-
I'm like all
Why
That
did
line-
so and so not do this? It's like
Yeah.
that's not the Geordie I knew. It's
Yeah.
like who's the
that sounds
person
like
you
it could
still
be like people aged.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He's
Like,
challenging
people got
like, a
older.
perception, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense too.
There's some
Uh,
implied conflict between Geordie and Picard when Picard's saying this is life and death, and Geordie's like it's always life and death. Jean-Luc, when has it not
And
been?
you can tell the Geordie is probably not the actual dialogue when they show the screen because
Yeah.
Geordie looks pissed.
Yeah.
yeah, he looks pretty
Very
mad
upset.
Again, I
so-
stand by my theory is I don't think people will recognize that it's Jordy without the visor.
Huh? That
Like,
could be. If you
Wait,
haven't
what
seen
do
it
you
in a
mean?
long
Like
time.
Yeah.
audience members?
yeah,
Yeah,
I
if
think they
a lot of people
mainstream-
never watched the TNG movies. Like people who got into TNG recently, like they caught it on Netflix or something. I have a friend who watched TNG and like he never watched any of the movies. So when
Oh wow.
I showed him a picture of Geordie from like First Contact or something, he's like, "Wow, that's weird. He doesn't have the visor." I was like, "Oh yeah, in the movies he gets like
I-
these eye implants."
A friend who recently, and she's Australian, and so so she recently watched all of TNG, and she's having like trouble being able to stream the TNG movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
it's
and-
just it's
they're-
harder. They keep like jumping around. Like
Yeah, they're on HBO Max right now in the States. I was watching Insurrection
Mhm.
on HBO Max last night, even though I have the Blu-ray. I just didn't feel like getting up and popping it in. But
that's fair.
this character looks like half Vulcan, half Delton.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
There's like
And
a
I don't know
Delta
what
vibe
this
for
alien
sure.
is. But
Delta
yes,
V.
Starfleet Boy commented on the O faces.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
think that's exactly what's going on. This is
It's
clearly
the
on
Delta.
the
Like,
Titan,
That's the
though.
Delta effect.
Also, there's like a it's kind of over exposed. It's like a pulse or something was correlating with that. And I'm trying to look in the screens to see if there's any clues as to what anomaly or whatever they're encountering.
It says main
Uh,
something ratio. Looks like main antimatter ratio.
No, but in the
behind
preview
her.
screen there was like something that could be an illustration there in the background there.
Oh, that thing.
Could,
Those-
that thing
It's like
could
a
be
like
the
a wave or something. They're
repair
getting
or
hit
whatever,
by
yeah.
a radiation that's going to shrink them to 1/16
But
of an inch, like in the
they
Terrigen
show it
incident.
like in the trailer.
That's a
you
Star
see
Trek
it-
deep cut for you.
That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, could this be an explosion of some kind? Hold on. Let me go to it on the actual trailer, because they show it. It's like an asteroid field or something, and then something brightens in it, right? Or what? Let me see. Hold on.
Yeah,
Mm.
there's something that might be like in the ship exterior, and then they cut to another bright flash here. But I think this is something different. I think this is.
Oh,
Is
Is
that Troy?
Go back one.
I think this is
one-
Crusher. I think this is Crusher being attacked by the bird
I
people
think-
when they
Oh,
we
I think
suspect
it's-
capture
Yeah, I
her.
think it's Crusher because I could see a little bit of the gray streak thing she's got going
Yeah.
on.
in her hair.
Go back one though. Again, another one. Maybe a couple. Oh, what happened to the ship's name? No, there. Actually, go back. This is the ship that Bill Krause.
This is the
designed.
Tycho, but that's not what it's going to be called
No,
in
it's
canon.
not called the Tycho. I think the
that's his-
class is the Endurance, if I'm not mistaken, or it's called the Endurance.
I love the look of this ship though. I like that. Oh, that is a Starfleet bridge. That is the Impulse crystal. That is the I don't know. It just looks right. That's the correct way to do the pennant on the side with the red lines and
That's
the
'cause
delta in the
it's-
front.
Yeah, you should go
I
look
like,
at his. I don't know if you've checked out his other designs. He's really cool. But yeah, it's a beautiful.
no,
like
I-
Andrew
I
Hayes'
love his
comment
designs.
in the.
Are we seeing a Star Trek 2 style pulsy phaser beam like hitting that nacelle? Is that what we're seeing?
That almost kind of ruins it for me. Like if it's that, it's like that's too derivative of Star Trek 2. It's like the exact same shot.
Are you kidding? But this might be from the Shrike, so it would be like its own weapon. It would have its own signature and vibe, but it would be similar enough. I don't know. Like what would be attacking it? Not another Starfleet
Yeah, it's
vessel,
just-
maybe.
That's my fear is that we're just gonna revisit all the stuff from the Star Trek movies. Like we're gonna have.
We'll have
like,
to we'll have to see how you feel when you actually see it, because all the reactions are very positive that I've seen.
They are, and that I'm more enthused by that stuff than by what I've seen in like the official trailers and promotional material. Because this stuff actually it hasn't excited me that much. The thing that has given me enthusiasm is the things that the creatives have said and that people who've had like early reactions to it have said. But even that, I'm still trying to rein in my expectations. My fear is that people will get their hopes up too much. People are going to go into this thinking it's going to be the best
Yeah.
Star Trek they've seen in decades, and if it's not that, then I don't want to see like a big backlash. So that's something I'm
My
kind
It's
of
gonna happen
terrified of
anyways.
right
Like
now.
you should just let that fear go. Like that's never not gonna happen anymore. That world is
That's
gone.
probably true.
Father.
I tried to
like
always
that hope
go.
is.
I always try to go into
Although-
things as like cautiously optimistic. Like
Yeah,
that's where I'm at.
fair. Yeah,
I-
that's fair.
I'm
That's
thinking,
okay.
I'm
That's
thinking
fair.
there will be a lot of good stuff just from all the positive reactions, but I'm thinking like, oh yeah, the things that I really liked in Picard season 1 and season 2, because there was a lot there that I loved, and I'm just kind of hoping for more of that. That's my approach, and that's the approach I recommend to people who don't want to have their hearts broken.
yeah,
In the audience, Kevin Richardson says it's not the Endurance, but it might be another class, which is the Wasp class. But I don't. But the Wasp class has like, oh, it could be. I don't know. We'll see.
There's someone
Anyways,
in
it's a cool ship.
captivity here. Someone's being kept in a force field, and they're like trying
I
to
also
break
like
out.
Andrew Hayes' comment that is 3 V'ger clouds.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, who is that? Like, there's their hands there. See, and they're.
I think
they've
this
got a
might be
Starfleet-
7. It's kind of
Oh.
Yeah.
yellowish looking hair. It's hard to tell because of the blue tint, but
It's like she's getting slammed against it or maybe pushing.
yeah, I think she might be trying to push her way out. But there is a shot in here. This is Raffi's grandkid. We already talked, or suspected grandkid. We already talked about. There's a shot in here of when Picard says "gun it," and you see like everyone getting like slammed against the edge of the corridor. I don't know if that could be from like 2 different things or something. We don't know, but. I guess we should talk about the lore stuff, which I know a lot of people are tired of Brent Spiner playing new faces.
Not I.
I do love Brent Spiner, but I am glad they just brought back Goldface. I didn't like. He's not playing a new Zoom.
This is
But they
very
were-
weird
yeah,
though.
yeah.
He looks
Maybe.
much more human. He
Yeah.
looks almost
Yeah.
totally human, other than like some weirdness around the eyes. But he's in a Starfleet uniform. So what the hell is
He's-
going on here with lore?
He does still have that.
I think he stole a
goldish kinda
Starfleet
skin.
uniform. Like,
Well,
Because hopefully
I mean,
replicators wouldn't give it to somebody who has his face now. Just at this point, like, nope, you can't have a uniform.
They're like,
Lore's
no,
associated
Data is
with-
dead. Nobody else in
Yeah.
the space is allowed to have this.
Yes.
What do we last know about Lore? He was
He got
deactivated
disassembled.
and
Disassembled.
disassembled, right? So
Mhm.
yes, someone had to have reassembled him. Now,
Except in
Geordi-
the Defiant ongoing comic, that's the spin-off of the main Star Trek ongoing comic that IDW is publishing right now. Of course, none of this is canon, but in that, Lore is reassembled and stolen from Section 31 to be part of this ragtag group doing some
Yeah.
secret mission with Worf and B'Elanna.
Suicide Squad of
Yeah, it's
Star
like
Trek.
we're doing like a Star Trek Suicide Squad thing with him right now.
I need to find that because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Also, can that be the next TV show?
Like,
Like, I don't care if it's derivative of Suicide Squad. I'd rather see it in Star Trek. That's kind of rad.
It ain't a bad idea. Yeah, if you want to bring back a lot of legacy people, just like
Mhm.
make that the show. Yeah.
But
they
that
got-
could be a part of the show.
They got his like
Anyways.
brain hooked up to this cord. It's very similar to like Nemesis when they were like trying to transfer data into
Oh, yeah,
B4.
Mm.
I keep expecting them to maybe like poor B4 is just sitting in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah, that poor dude.
What if B4 can cycle between the three of them? Like, what if B4 has somehow become, I don't know, a Data, like
Something
a
with a
chimera?
split
of-
personality.
Yeah, or maybe a chimera. Like, there's actually three different life
Mm.
forms living inside the same.
So they're gonna
kind
bring
of-
Data back to life again? And then
Well,
kill
no,
him
it wouldn't
again?
be Data as we know him. It would be like a B4 Data.
Yeah,
It would be like
B4.
maybe it'd be, I think it would
Sorry.
be
Like, I meant like before, like an older Data. But yeah,
I,
exactly.
I think it would be like what you're suggesting would be closer to like Dax as opposed to like actually Data coming back. It would be
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it would
like a
be more
memory
like
of
the
Data.
symbiont like kind
Yeah.
of thing going on. Yeah, a troll
Oh.
Data.
I slowed down the thing where it's like who's hitting the force field. It's actually one of those bird people pushing just a random crew member into the force field.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Those bird guys sound like jerks.
Mhm.
Boat Wreck, I guess, is suggesting a B4 lore combination
B-lore.
called B lore.
B-lore.
So I guess
Or
that's
B
also
Data Lore. I
a
like that.
possibility.
Vanilla Pat took it to TNG title. Data Lore, right? Like,
Be Data Lore 4.
Aaron,
Data
I
Lore.
love the
Yeah.
theory you suggested to
culture,
me.
yeah.
If I can mention
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
it. Perhaps they are bringing Moriarty back to stop Lore, since his creation was to be a
Oh,
computer
that was
program
great. Yeah.
smart enough to defeat
Oh.
Data. So he'd also be smart enough to defeat Data's twin brother, right?
Yeah.
That's
Theory.
fun. That's
I
actually
love that.
super fun. I like that
That's
a
a
lot.
good
And
theory.
My
Think
joke was
about-
like, "Hey, we're dealing with 3 other subplots, and we do not have time for this. Just take him out."
Yeah.
You know? Like,
But think about like that scene, like we're gonna like have to like pull Moriarty out of the box, and think like he's gonna be so pissed, and like, by the way, we really need you to do us a favor, and just like imagine
Yeah.
that. That'd be
That's
fun
genius.
to see. I kind of hope that that's the case, but we'll find out.
Oh, it'd
Um,
be cool if we actually can see if we'll see some of Lore's even, like, because Data, no matter that he looks old, Data has like all this enhanced strength and all this like crazy stuff, and so like with modern
oh yeah.
effects,
Uh-huh.
we'll now get to see like that interpreted perhaps, that
Mhm.
his like kind of like cosmic strength, or I'm calling it that. I don't think there's such a real thing as cosmic strength, but
Yeah, it's like what powers the Silver Surfer, right? In Jack
oh
Kirby
yeah,
comics.
exactly. Okay, so
I think
fine,
they've actually
whatever, his-
disproven the cosmic string theory. I want to say that was like during like when they hit the string for disaster, like somehow
Oh yeah.
that episode. I think that's been proven like that could not happen.
Yeah, no, I said strength though, but yeah, still.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
cosmic string. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought
I
you said
am
cosmic
fascinated-
strength too.
I
was
am
like,
genuinely fascinated.
it's like
the
a real
cosmic
science
string
thing?
has been. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, but I am fascinated.
I'm
that
a
that's
little
been
out of it
proven.
this weekend. It's just like-
that's just my default state, is to be out of
Oh.
it. I do kind of
Jean-Luc
wish.
says married like several times, by the way, in TNG Jail 47, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
He says like
Yeah,
3
the-
times. In
That's
the,
like
The
in
French
it's
way
like-
of saying shit. Although in the Wrath of
Yeah.
Khan, doesn't Chekhov say the Russian shit word?
I
It
Oh,
think
he
reminds
might.
me of like Buffy. They got away with cussing by having Spike say like British slang, like Spike's just
Oh, yeah.
odd. like, which
Yeah.
is
Part.
way worse than a lot of like American words you're not
Oh,
allowed to say.
I mean, Joss Whedon is an asshole and a terrible person, and I'm sorry for
Yes.
anyone who ever had to work with him. But he was a
Accurate.
clever writer, and he snuck a lot of that stuff into a lot of it. He spent some time living in the UK, and he knew all of the slang, and yeah, even in the Avengers when Loki calls Natasha a mewling quim, I'm like, oh wow, like that is that is some strong language right there that most Americans won't know what that means.
Yes, Spike also says wanker, and Spike also flips someone off in the British way.
And I love Spike too. Aaron,
Spike is. I love Spike a lot.
The actor is fun too. He does a lot of book narration.
Yeah, James Marsters
with his
cool
James
dude.
Marston without his accent that he does not have. So it's
Yeah.
very weird.
But anyways, back to start. Speaking of like weird like British
Sorry.
accent stuff, we have Marina Sirtis and Michael Dorn. But
I was just reading an interview where someone asked like, why did she drop the accent? And she said she dropped the accent she was doing because she couldn't get any
Yeah.
other Betazoid actor to do it.
yeah, like Majel
Well, not
never
her mother and
attempted
father,
it.
Yeah.
neither of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she based
Like,
it
where the
on
heck
like
did I get this?
she based it on an Israeli friend who had
Mhm.
a similar accent. So it's like, okay, well maybe her dad is Israeli, but then like
Yeah.
when we see a
Yeah.
flashback of him in Dark Page, he has like just a standard American accent. It's like, well,
She tried to do something with the character and everyone
Yeah.
refused to make it make sense around
Yeah.
her. And she was like, I'm just going to talk.
She went to a boarding school or something and picked it up there.
There you go.
But I do kind of wish that they hadn't done a trailer for the trailer because like there are like really cool shots of like, oh look, it's Troy and Worf in uniform side by side for the first time since Nemesis. It's like, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that a week ago. No big deal. Next.
Yeah, it would be
So-
nice if they had kept some of that for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't need a trailer for a trailer, or you could tell us it's coming and then use like a logo or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's different today. I feel like all the younger people are so hyped. Like in my family, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" Like and people are asking me about Star Trek, which is cool. So
Well, that's cool.
Well, that's good.
yeah, I think
yeah,
it's different. Like I think like that's something like I do remember though. Like I know what you're saying. Like we didn't get quite. It wasn't quite the way that it was presented this time, but there's always some kind of marketing associated with the sports and Star Trek. Like
Yeah.
especially for big stuff like movies.
I just thought it was funny. Like my mom kept texting me. She's like, "It's 2 minutes. It's a long 2 minutes. It's coming anytime now." I'm like, okay, this is like time near a black hole. It's just like sports time doesn't make sense.
It
Well,
like
there's a lot of stuff in the clock in American football.
No, I know.
there is.
I did understand it. I'm not that.
It was
out of
funny
it, but
because
yeah.
I think Paramount, Sir Patrick Stewart, and Star Trek accounts were on autopilot because you could tell it. They all like
thought that
tweeted the trailer out.
trailer would have
like,
already been running.
Mhm.
It was already
Yeah.
running online. So
I'm
I was
sure
like,
they-
oh my god, I missed
Oh,
it.
I'm sure they were using a scheduler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Like-
I think it dropped at 7 p.m. But I'll tell you where it didn't show up. It didn't show up on Paramount Plus until they actually showed it during the football game, and then
Right,
I
that-
checked
yeah.
immediately after that
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
because I was actually
So the
watching the
full
game
trailer-
live. I was watching the game live on Paramount Plus, and I saw it was on YouTube, and I would go and check on Paramount Plus to see if the trailer was there yet, and it wasn't, and it wasn't, and it wasn't. And then when they showed the short version during the game, I checked immediately after that, and it was there. I was like, cool, I can get my
I tell you,
screenshots
as
from there,
someone
'cause
who
it'll look
used to
better than
work
YouTube.
in social media management, you use schedulers. Otherwise,
Mhm.
you have to be online every goddamn moment.
Minute. Yeah, it's insane.
That's
No, but I
And
just
half the
mean to
time,
say
they still
that that's
expect that because they want you to answer stuff, and then they don't want to pay you to be
Mhm.
full time. Why do you think I don't work in that field anymore? Like,
Well, that's unfortunate. But Rachel, if I get enough, I don't know, maybe if I get some more like super chats and some more Patreon subscribers, maybe one day you can do the Tex-Trek social media. If I can afford you.
that would be. I don't.
That's the pipe dream.
Never got paid that much for it. So
Father, there's enough in Snoopy's super chat for you to buy us like some coffee or something to be
Yeah,
fun.
that's some cheap coffee.
I
You could buy a bag of cheap coffee or something.
Yeah, it'd be
I'm
nice.
I'm sorry to have to be this person, but can I request tea? I'm Picard, not Janeway.
Yeah, sure, yeah, okay. You're a Picard among Janeways.
Yeah.
That's fine. Infinite diversity and infinite combinations.
I'm
That's pretty
both.
much it.
I'm coffee and tea. So
That's
there you go.
That's pretty much everything, though. We end with that,
Mhm.
fun, lighthearted moment between the two of them. I guess that's probably my final thought is that I am excited about seeing this cast together. They do have such a warmth and just an
I
endearing familiarity and friendship between all of them, and it always like lights up the screen when they're
I
playing off of
honestly-
each
It really
other.
feels like Seven's like merged in pretty well with them. It doesn't
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah.
she's this
I-
weird out, you know.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
bet it's because they've all hung out with Jeri Ryan at conventions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably know her from that for
That
years
makes
and
sense.
years.
Yeah.
Because there's a natural kind of just it feels like, oh,
Mhm.
like yeah.
There's a lot of overlap in general just in their lives, like because of conventions, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And also a lot of and like we
The-
forget because we're so Star Trek centric, but a lot of these actors have worked either before Star Trek together or even after Star Trek together
Yeah.
in various things from stage plays to other shows like many of the actors from Star Trek Voyager, the Doctor, Robert Picardo. I mean, Robert Picardo is one of the greatest things about Gremlins too. Like he's big deal. Like
I need to rewatch Gremlins too. I think
That
the
was
last time-
before Star Trek though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's
Or
what
is
I'm
it-
trying to say.
yeah.
It's like he was already
Oh,
a
okay.
big deal to me
Mhm.
when he joined.
Oh, I
Voyager,
got
so
it.
I feel like
I
Yeah,
haven't
they
seen
have all these
Gremlins
other, like,
2
things
since
they
the
do.
90s, so I definitely need to rewatch it. I rewatched
I know
the
I've
first one all the
seen
time.
Gremlins too, but I cannot remember when
it's
that
such
was.
a good. I actually,
It's a
I actually
bizarre,
find
like,
myself,
sequel.
yeah. But
That is a
oddly,
weird
like I
movie.
love the first Gremlins, but I can watch the first Gremlins only around Christmas time. It's a weird thing, but I can watch Gremlins 2 anytime. It's like, oh wait,
well, thank
wow,
you so
Joanne,
much,
thank you,
Joanne
that's so
Robertson.
cool.
That is very nice.
incredibly sweet. But yes, a $20 super chat. She says, "I will contribute to a coffee for the Tex-Trek crew."
Wow, that's awesome.
Thank you so much.
much.
I certainly consume a lot of caffeine. We'll get tea for Rachel, but yeah, that's definitely appreciated. Thank you.
And Trek Culture gave us a kudos. Thank you. So that's
Yes,
awesome.
and thank you everyone
Aw.
for showing up who checked us out live. Anyone who's watching this
Yeah.
later, if you're coming in later, comment and let us know what you thought, and if you have any theories, or if you liked anything in particular that we said, or if you disagree, if you think we said like some dumb stuff, point that out too.
But we probably did.
Yeah,
I say
well,
a lot of dumb stuff. I'll just go on record.
that's
as
very
being
true.
Oh, I'm
I'll
sure
be
I
the-
do.
in complete
The
agreement
resident
with
dumb
you.
stuff sayer.
I enjoy coming up with theories. My theories are not
Yeah.
often right.
So my theories are often wrong. Haha. See what I did there?
I hope I'm
Often
right
wrong.
about like that guy being Renee, because like I said, it always
I
frustrates
love
me that
that.
Renee died
That
in
would
the
be
fire.
ideal.
Yeah.
I
I
hated
love
that,
that.
too.
Anyone
And I
have any
often,
other?
I think the ghost of Robert Picard could come back too.
Let's not do forced ghost here. Like it's annoying in the other Star
Oh.
franchise.
least-
No one's ever really gone. Yeah, okay. I don't need that in my Star Trek, please.
It's
Bring
so
this.
established in the other Star franchise that I'm like, sure, this has been here since the beginning. I'm fine with it.
Does anyone else have any final thoughts on the trailer? Anyone in the live audience have any final thoughts? Now's the time to share.
I have a final thought, which is I'm insanely excited about Star Trek Picard, and I can't wait. And I'm so jealous if everyone has screeners, because I would totally like watch it right now. I would like right now after we hang up, I would watch it. I'm so ready to see it. And like, Father, do you still agree? Do you still assert rather that the trailer doesn't have anything new in it after this like 2-hour conversation? 1 hour.
Yeah,
video
I don't think there's
conversation?
much. I don't think there's much new in the. I guess the two big
Dang.
contributions from it are the things that had already leaked, but the casting of the Titan actor and mystery boy who may or may not be Picard's
You're just saying
long lost
plot wise
son.
and story wise, you still don't know what's going on, and I think that's
Which is
good
not a
enough.
But I
bad
like that.
thing
I like
necessarily.
that's not,
You know what?
right, that's
I
not
like
bad at
that.
all.
I do.
I
like
was
that.
already going to watch the show, and I'll be honest, like if I didn't make Star Trek content for this lovely audience, I wouldn't be watching this trailer. I would be like, okay, I'm just gonna go in.
Yeah, he usually doesn't. It's true.
blind.
Mhm.
Father's not a trailer person yet.
Yeah,
so-
I never
Yeah.
things that I know I'm gonna
Yeah.
see. I always skip the trailers, and after I make up my mind I'm gonna see something, I'll stop watching the trailers because I like
I-
going in and being surprised.
I'm 100%
I
the
generally-
opposite. I like to
yeah.
see everything that the studio wants me to see about the show, like because I'm always looking
But
for clues.
It's like
and
that new
theories
M
and
Night
things like that.
Shyamalan
Yeah.
movie, the knock on the door, knock on the cabin door, whatever it's called, with Dave Bautista. It's like that latest trailer like showed
I haven't
so
seen
much
that.
stuff, and I'm like, ugh, like
Ah.
that would have been a cool surprise if I didn't know that, and now I'll never forget it. Thank you, assholes, for ruining the story for me.
Yeah, I'm like I do watch trailers, but generally I'll watch trailers for like for like a comedy where I'm like, what is this about? That looks fun. Okay, I'll like away for later. I'll watch that later.
Trailers definitely have a bad rap because like some of those comedy trailers like show you the whole movie. When you go to watch the
Yeah.
movie, like, oh
They'll,
wait,
like,
it's
show you, like, all the funniest
it's
Like,
oh, I
the
don't need to
whole-
see it now.
Or like horror movies that show you like the scariest scare in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock. They put in the trailer, see the final voyage of the Enterprise, and like the
Yeah.
Enterprise blows up in the trailer.
Yeah.
The
more
one
final
thing that
thought,
I
'cause,
like for the other
oh,
Star
sorry.
franchise, where they
No, okay.
basically manufactured scenes that weren't ever in the fight. I don't mind that. I mean, like if it was in the same
Yeah.
flavor and stuff, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's.
Although now
it
that's
didn't
illegal.
spoil anything.
Apparently, like now it's illegal to show trailers.
Yes,
that don't
because
have
it's right. It's what is it like?
false
Word
advertisement.
for advertising.
Well, there was
Yeah,
always
exactly.
like, but
Bait
there
and
was always
switch.
a little bit of that happened because I feel like there were scenes, and this might be something that that might have even happened for Star Trek in the movie days, but like sometimes the final cut would have a scene that was in the there was a trailer but not in the
Yeah.
final cut of the film.
Yeah.
I
because they
remember-
edited
That
it
happens.
since the trailer came
That
out. Yeah.
definitely happens. I want to say the movie Rhodey. It's like about football. There's a scene that's in like every trailer,
But it's not
and
in
it
the
is
movie.
not in the movie. And I remember watching the movie as a kid and being like, "That's weird." I saw that scene a million times. Like,
Trek Culture mentioned the music in the first Strange New World trailer. I love the music in this trailer. I just want to reiterate that, and I'm really excited about the music, the score.
Yeah,
of the
we've gotten
soundtrack.
some cool snippets of
Yeah.
the score online,
Yeah.
but yeah, we'll have to wait to discuss more after we finally get to see the first episode, streaming February 16th on Paramount
Yay.
Plus here in the States. Starfleet Boy, you will be representing us at the premiere
And
at
Aaron.
the Chinese Theater.
Yep.
And Aaron,
We'll be there
okay,
too.
that's awesome. I hope that y'all take plenty of pictures. I'm looking forward to seeing some pictures of y'all
Yeah,
there
definitely.
at the premiere.
Where we're together in the same spot.
Yeah, that'll be cool to see
It'll
that
be
happen
awesome,
finally.
yeah.
And you know, people watching this, if you don't follow Tex-Trek, please subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing weekly coverage every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central. We do our live show, and you can also listen to our show wherever you get your podcast. If that's easier for you to consume than checking us out on YouTube like you are right now, please go find the Tex-Trek podcast wherever you get your podcast. And we cover all the new shows, every new episode. And when there's no new Trek, we talk about the older Star Trek. Right now, me and my co-host Dave, who's not here right now, we're going through Deep Space Nine that he's watching for the first time. I'm watching for the 47th time.
It's a
been
great
tremendously
conversation.
fun.
Tune
Yeah,
in
it's-
and see that.
yeah, we have very different
Totally.
perspectives, so always fun to compare notes with him. We're about to finish DS9, so we're in season 7 now, and in 2 weeks we'll be done. So it'll be fun to compare. Okay, here's like the big ending to DS9. You know, it just ends with like this 10-episode arc. Now the Next Generation is getting its big ending with this 10-episode arc of Picard. So it'll be fun to compare and contrast those, I think, in the weeks to come. But also, please check out Starfleet Boy and Rachel. What's going on with y'all's show?
We're nothing officially yet, but we're trying to like come up with a way to like come back without with working with all of our schedules, which is so fun.
But you can be found at
Yeah, I'm
Disco.
Discotech. I'm
Tech.
also on the podcast.
I always want to call it Disco Trek, but
That is a different podcast.
yes.
I'm also on the podcast Master of Mayhem, and you can find me at Dramadork884 on social media.
All right, very cool. And follow Aaron at Geek Filter. And,
I've got a comic book cover out in March.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
number
the
4.
Illyrian Enigma, right?
Yeah,
So
and some other stuff I can't talk about. So
oh yeah. So keep your eyes out for that comic book cover and hopefully some more great Trek stuff from Aaron in the year to come. And this is gonna be a big year. Not only do we have this final season of Picard, but more Strange New Worlds, Discovery, Lower Decks, and Prodigy all right around the corner. So thank all of you for joining me and talking about this trailer, and hopefully the actual show lives up to our hopes and expectations, and we all love it and enjoy it and have a great year for Star Trek in 2023. But I'll go ahead and sign us off. But until next time, as always, live long and prosper, y'all.